If you want to improve your art in 2026 but don't have endless time and energy, this video is for you. Today, I'm sharing 5 tried and true ways I've grown my art skills over time, even during busy periods of life. These are not quick fixes or overnight solutions. There are small, incremental changes that add up over time. I'll briefly walk through all 5 tips at once. Then we'll slow down and talk through each one. We'll talk about choosing one sketchbook to grow in, focusing on one skill at a time, finding realistic time for art, creating accountability, and why not giving up is the most important part. So, tip number one is to pick a sketchbook to grow in. You don't want to have too many experiments going on at once. If every time you sit down to create, you're changing the sketchbook, the medium, or the paper quality, you are extending the amount of time that it takes for you to learn how this one particular medium interacts with this paper. And over time, you'll learn the grand scope of things that those two can do together. There's value in that. Number two, choose 1 or 2 areas that you want to improve and focus on that. It doesn't mean you only draw one thing. It means you intentionally carve out time, even if just a little, to work on one specific skill. At the beginning of 2025, I wanted to improve my portraits. So throughout the year, I practiced drawing portraits consistently. Not every day, but often. As I did that, I realized I struggled with noses. Instead of trying to fix everything at once, I focused there for a while. Over time, not only did my noses improve, my portraits improved overall. Later in the year, I applied the same concept to drawing hands. I even kept a small sketchbook and drew the everyday things I held in my hands. I'm not perfect at any of these things, and that's the point. Focusing on one skill at a time keeps you moving forward instead of feeling overwhelmed. Tip number three, find time to dedicate to your art. Time can feel like an illusion, like chasing a unicorn. I totally get that. There are times when you cannot pile one more thing onto your plate. But if your schedule allows, try to find 30 minutes a day that you can dedicate to your art. Some people like to build the time into their morning routine. While drinking their coffee or eating their breakfast, they take the time for art. For me, I've started bundling it with my lunch break. I used to power straight through my lunch break while sitting at my computer. Now I intentionally take that break, relishing the opportunity to change my mindset, grab my art book, and as I'm eating, I'm drawing. I've also found a lot of success with bundling my art process with my evening routines. After my kids have gone to sleep, I climb into bed and spend at least 30 minutes in my sketchbook. It's time that I look forward to pull out my supplies, to draw, to be creative, and to have fun. When life was more hectic and I couldn't chisel out time every day, I was able to find one day a week that I could dedicate to art, Friday evenings. As soon as I got home from work, I changed into my comfy clothes. That changed my total mindset. It was like my body, my spirit knew that it was time to shift gears and get ready for art. Number four, keep yourself accountable. You don't want to start something new and then fall off a few months into the year. So you need a way to hold yourself accountable. Bundling your art with a habit that you already have is a great start. Another way to ensure that you continue throughout the year is to not keep it a secret. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to blast it to the world, but telling a friend just might do the trick. You'll need those few random reminders of, hey, how's that art thing going? To keep you on track. Tell a coworker that's also interested in art. You can hold each other accountable. If you really want to push the limits, post your progress on social media. Tip number five, don't give up. Progress is not always fast. In today's world of instant gratification, people tend to think that they'll start a new hobby one day and be a master at it in 2 weeks. And that simply is not the case. Drawing, painting, sketching, crafting, it all takes time. It takes progress. There are growing pains. Sometimes you will create art that doesn't look great. There are times that you will make mistakes and the outcome misses the mark from what you had in mind. I remember times when my skill set didn't yet allow me to execute the idea I had for a piece. Yes, it was frustrating, but that's part of the wonderful journey. There are so many lessons to learn from the imperfect art that you make. Improving your art isn't about doing everything. It's about doing a few things consistently. Which one of these tips feel more realistic for you now? I'd love to hear in the comments. See you soon. Bye.